Masonry and Structures Department is responsible for maintaining the track, roadway, and structures, bridges, tunnels, whatever, on the railroad. And it has historically been a very labor-intensive type of operation. We've modernized it, we've mechanized it. We have greatly improved the safety record until the engineering department on Norfolk Southern historically is the safest department of any railroad in the nation. The track is the basic structures that everything has to run upon, and it has to be of high quality, it has to be reliable, and it has to be safe. And we take that job very seriously, and I think we do an excellent job at it. In the old days, there really wasn't a good way to unload ties and distribute them out. We had to physically just unload them by hand. There really was no machinery. Then early in the 60s or thereabouts, a machine was invented to kick the ties out of a car through a slot in the bottom of the cars. Back then, when you distributed those ties, they had to fall within 3 feet of where that tie was going to be installed, because there was really no good way to move that tie to where you wanted to put it in. Nowadays, we have our tie handling machines that go out. We throw the ties out in groups, and the tie handling machines place them exactly where they need to go. We used to pull all spikes by hand. You had a call bar, and sometimes the spike would come out, sometimes it wouldn't. And it was slow. Now we have machines that ride on rail and pull the spikes. We used to pull the spikes, jack the track up a little bit, and then take tie tongs and picks, sticking the picks in the ties and grabbing the ties with the tie tongs and dragging the old ties out. Then we'd grab the new one and slide it back up underneath there the same way. And the tie weighing in the neighborhood of 300 pounds with 1 or 2 people sliding them in and out all day long. There's a lot of exposure. Nowadays, that's all mechanized, and we have specially designed machines to do that, which we're on probably the 3rd or 4th generation of those machines now. We originally did all spiking by hand. It was a very refined art for a lot of people. Then we went to automated spike drivers, but you still had to set the spikes. You go in with a hammer and drive the spike partially down, then you come by with the mechanized machine and drive the spike the rest of the way down. Now we have machines that automatically feed the spikes into guns. And drive them in without anybody ever touching a hammer. Nobody sets a spike. The only thing you have to do is feed the spikes into the machine and let them do the work. In the old days, we had to tear them out by hand. We had to use what we call T-wrenches to go in and physically remove those drive screws. Then after that, you had to take tie tongs and take the timbers out. Then originally you would take picks and pick out the old asphalt. Later machines were developed to remove the asphalt, which were slow and inefficient and didn't really do a very good job of it. We've gone away from the old crossing timbers and all of our road crossings to using a rubber material that's lightweight, more durable, and it will last far longer than the old timbers used to last. The asphalt's put in, and then when we have to remove that asphalt, a backhoe can very easily go in and rip the entire crossing out in just a matter of minutes. We used to have to unload ballast by hand, walk 6 to 10 miles beside a ballast train, unloading ballast. Now, the computer unloads the trains, it's all satellite controlled. You don't even have to be out there. And we'll unload a ballast train anytime, day or night, and not one person has to get out and walk beside the track. Originally, when you went to do your work, you'd take shovels and you'd shovel ballast. You'd carry it down to where there was no ballast and throw it in the track. If it was out on the edges, you'd shovel it up and take it from the ballast line and throw it in the middle of the track so you'd have enough rock to tamp and dress the track. It is very strenuous, hard work. Ballast regulators came along and greatly enhanced the distribution of ballast. The newer regulators we have can transfer ballast from one side of the track to the other. It can carry it long distances down the track if need be. Surfacing is putting the proper line, cross level, and elevations on your track. In the old days, it had to be all done by hand. You'd set track jacks and you would pull the rails up to level or to proper super elevation and curves. Then you tamp it by hand with forks, bars, or even picks. Then after you did that, you had to line the track. You had to come up with lining bars and a group of men, and you worked in unison and try to push that rail one way or the other. And to get that alignment right was very slow and very tedious. Today, we'll come in with a modern tamper that is computer controlled. It'll pull the track up to the proper cross level and elevations, tamp it off, and then a regulator will come back behind, pull the ballast in and dress it up, and then sweep it to the point that you have a perfectly laid out track. We have a very, very big opportunity to improve what we do even greater than we're doing it right now. And it just takes a little bit of insight, a little bit of knowledge, and the right people with the right frame of mind to explore different things, to ask what if, and go out and do that. And the people we have right now, the people we're seeking in our department are those kind of people. And the questions are being asked, and more importantly, they're being answered.